everyone, my name is Beckett and welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys are all having a great day today, and we have a lot of Division 2 stuff to go over. We have the podcast State of the Game 172, we have a new patch coming out fixing Summit, new loot changes, a lot of amazing changes. Patch 11.1 is only coming out in a couple of weeks, and we're going to get into all this info. We got all the details for you. Massive has heard the community feedback, and they have changed a lot of things for the better and some things for the worse, in my opinion. But before we get started, if you like the content, please hit that subscribe, and if you end up liking this video, hit that like. It helps so much. We're growing into a nice little Division 2 channel. Alright, first things first, we're gonna have another maintenance tomorrow, so it won't be that long. It's basically just to fix the keys for the new apparel event. I haven't been getting keys. I think I only got the first 4 that you're supposed to receive. I thought I got more, but I guess I didn't. I went and looked back, and I've already got like 15 or 20 shade levels, and I have not received 1 key. So they're going to be fixing that. So you're not going to be getting your keys back tomorrow, but the following week, any shade levels that you got in the past few days is going to be prorated, and we're going to get those extra keys. But this is basically just to fix the problem, so everyone is getting apparel keys, so we can finish up the event and get this awesome Riker gear. We also have news when the new patch is coming out. That is going to be October 20th. They sounded pretty confident, but they said if something happens, you know, it's COVID time, so we just don't know. But I would say pretty much we're looking like October 20th. Now let's get into these summit changes, because they are huge. But first, I kind of want to say I told you so, because I said the summit was going to be like a foundation for a greater rift system like they have in Diablo 3, because Diablo 3 and Division 2 have so many similarities in their loot systems and their gameplay. The only difference is we're killing demons, and over here we're killing rogue agents. So that's really the only difference, and I had a feeling it was going to turn out like this, and it is. So the first thing we're going to be talking about is the rally point system. It is going away. There is no floor system. You're not going to go up to the elevator and choose floor 21. It's going to be more of a checkpoint based system, and which I'm completely for. There are some downsides to that, with it being a greater rift system and the loot potential. I'm really afraid that that's going to be the only thing worth doing in the game, and I like doing the missions. You know, I love hearing Kelso's sexy voice, that monotone voice, but no, really, I like doing the missions sometimes. I love just queuing up for random main missions, and if only thing we are able to do a summit, like if the population is just like, oh, we're just going to do summit, and I have to wait 10 minutes to get into a random main mission, that is not gonna be fun. So let's get into all the new changes. Now, next thing I want to get into is they're making climbing floors meaningful. Meaning, if you're playing on normal or you're playing on legendary, maybe you're just a normal player, you're a casual player, you just want to play normal, you just want to have fun, you want to go through the floors, and you want to be able to climb, go from 1 to 100, defeat the hunters, get that loot, get your exotic. You should be able to do that. And on the other end, if you want to be legendary and you want to go crazy and you want to legendary from floors 1 to 100, you should be able to do that, or give us more floors or different areas, things like that. So they're making it more benefit. So we can start on legendary on floor 1. We can add directives, and we'll get bonus modifiers for loot. So it's like ×1 or ×2, ×3, ×4 for each directive that we have. So that's just for the targeted loot inside the summit, as well as in the open world. So the way loot works and targeted loot works, on normal you have the lowest chance to get targeted loot. On legendary you have the highest chance. So when we get to legendary and we start adding directives, we can get more and more and more targeted loot. But on the other hand, if we were playing on, let's say, challenging mode, and we ran 5 or 6 directives, it would be the same as getting heroic loot, at least heroic targeted loot, and that's not a bad thing. It's a great thing for all players. And if you just don't want to play on heroic, you just want to bust through on challenging and just add a few extra directives, and you can add up to 9. So you can imagine the multipliers, and you can imagine when you get to legendary and you're running 9 different directives, and you're loot is going to be dropping. Now that we can climb any floor at any difficulty, we can also do it at our own pace, and we'll be able to keep that checkpoint throughout the weeks. It's not going to be like a reset where, oh, Tuesday I need 1 and then I need to hit 100 before Monday night. No, it's not going to be like that. You're going to be able to save your checkpoints, so you can just go whenever you want. So if you want to take 2 or 3 weeks, at least that's the way they explained it, you can do that and get to your pace and make it to 100, and that's your little journey. That's something you can do on the side by yourself, solo, or or with a group, and you can split it up. So if I wanted to do solo from like 1 to floor 20, and then all my friends hit me up, oh, I got a checkpoint, let's start on floor 21, and let's push to 60, 70, 80, whatever it may be. That's a great feature, and we can come back to this at any time we want. They've also added in personal loot. Now, what exactly is personal loot? So it's a function that's only available inside the summit, which is a great thing, because I remember when the summit first released, I think the second day it was like pistols, and I just wanted to run the summit, guys. That's it. I just want to go in there, bust some heads, and be like, oh, this is gonna be fun. I'm just gonna grind this out all day, and it's pistols, so I don't even get to do that. I don't want to do CPs. I'm just kind of burned out, so I'll come back tomorrow. So this is great. So anytime you're in the summit, you can go into the menu and you'll be able to choose any gear set, any brand, weapon. So if I want to farm out SMGs all day and try to get my Lady Death, or I want to farm out Hunter Fury gear set, I can set that and I can change it anytime I want. Anytime I get to a checkpoint, I believe. And you're just going to be able to change it out and say, oh, I want to farm this set right now, and then let's say in 20 floors, I want to farm a different set. Now, this is a double-edged sword, and I do not like this, and I really wish it wasn't in the game, because now this effectively makes the summit, with the way loot drops and everything in the summit, and then you can do legendary from floor 1 to 100 with all these different directives, plus personal target loot. Why go anywhere else in the game unless you're just doing legendary or the raid? There's really no point to do anything else in the open world, which made Division 2 so great, and why I didn't like Division 1, because it was like, we just stay in the dark zone or you do your raids. That's it. And that's all we're going to do. So hopefully it doesn't turn into that, but I have a big feeling it's going to turn into that. Just like Greater Rift system in Diablo 3 has turned that game into where we just run Greater Rifts. Yeah, sure, you go into the open world just to do some bounties and that's it. And I feel like that's it. We're going to do a couple projects in the open world and it might just be useless. I hope that doesn't happen, but only time will tell. They will also be adding a weekly summit project, which is nice. It will just be a regular one. You know, you get awarded with an exotic, a name piece, blueprint if you do not have all your blueprints from the open world, and specialization points if you do not have all your specializations maxed out, which is great. So I'm just looking forward to that. Weekly you get a chance at a named item, which that means you can get a named item from the light zone or the dark zone and get something sweet that you were looking for. And we have some bad news. They fixed the, well, it's not really an exploit, but I don't know if you guys remember on floor 100 where you could just throw skills, shoot through the door, and just take out the whole floor 100 before you got into the hunter encounter. And it just was like, oh, we don't have to worry about wiping. You could just throw whatever. I was just throwing seekers. I was throwing my mortar through there. I saw them just shooting through nonstop. It was kind of crazy, so they made it so there's no windows, so that's too bad. What are we going to do? We knew it was going to get fixed, but you can still cheese the hunters with shock traps, so that is a good thing. We also got to see a huge Ridgeway's Pride buff for the new exotic that you get from climbing all 100 floors and getting the exotic pieces, which is amazing. So now Bleeding Edge, the main talent, shooting enemies within 15 meters applies a bleed to the target. It was 10 meters before, so that extra 5 meters is nice, and you can make it fixed into other different builds, and it might just work perfect with the Hunter's Fury. You know, you got 15 meters going off all the time. They also buffed the secondary talent that came with it, which was like an armor on kill. Basically, repair 3 to 48% of your armor per second for every enemy that is bleeding within 15 meters. So you can imagine how crazy that gets. So when it's 1, it's 3% armor per second, 2, 6, 3, 12, 4, 24. And if you have 5 people bleeding within you, 48%. That is some ridiculous armor. So imagine you're getting 50% of your armor every second. You're just unkillable god at that moment. I'm really loving these changes, and they are really great for the game. They also fixed the drop rate for the Ridgeway's chest pieces that you need to get for each floor, and they changed the way it drops. So basically, you can get it any cache and improve the drop rate from the cache. From 1 to 20, you'll have a piece, 21 to 40, and so on and so on. You'll be able to get each piece from there, and you have a chance. So it's an increased chance, a better chance. All around, it's going to be easier to get this, and it's going to be worth getting it now since they buffed it, and this is going to be a beastly thing. I'm already looking forward, and I've been waiting for this buff so I can try out an ongoing directive, and you know how that goes. And last but not least, finally, floor 100 is worth clearing. So they are buffing buffing the hunter loot immensely. So you're going to get a lot of good drops and a lot better drops. It's just going to be worth it all around. It was such a letdown when I first cleared floor 100 and I got like two gear sets. I'm like, that's it. No, I wish they would just give us a cache up top. Just let us open a chest like in true RPG fashion. I would prefer that. And we have a lot of bug fixes, stuff going out, but pretty much that is it. But we have a new patch coming out and we have maintenance tomorrow. So don't forget it. We're going to start getting our apparel caches. You can go ahead and finish that event and get all your stuff and be ready. October 20th, new patch 11.1, and I will see you guys in the next video.